All right, it's Friday, June 18th. This look familiar? I am back at the Partnership Shelter, or at least at the Mount Rogers Recreation Visitor Center. The shelter is just back there, a couple tenths of a mile. But I've hiked all this down. So right here, where I caught the shuttle to go home back in May. So I am back at the trail. Starts right across the street there. There's the blaze. And I'm excited to get back on. Although it's only going to be for 6 to 7, maybe 8 days. We'll see how I feel, what the weather's like, how far I get. And I got dropped off by Ram Bunny this morning. She took Pinto and I to Charlotte back in May to start the trek home. So got my gear, my summer kit. I am ready to get started, and I'm anxious to be back on the trail. It is about 8:45 in the morning, and I'll be out of here in a couple minutes. Well, hello trail, my old friend. You, as Wim says with the cold, you've certainly changed. Just like me, you've grown facial hair. Unfortunately, I'm not taking the time to identify these ferns and if one's poison ivy or not, because it doesn't matter. I have to walk through it, but definitely overhanging the trail. Launching pads for ticks. So glad I had my clothes treated with insect shield, and will just examine myself each day. I'll stop for lunch and I'll do it again at the end of the day. But beautiful trail. I think I've already sweat more today than I have just about any other day on the trail. It's not super hot. I think the temperature was in the high 60s when I started. It's been mostly uphill. Not steep, just nice, long, gentle uphill. But just wanted to give you an idea of what the trail has changed a lot since in the last month. It is the big green canopy covering me. I put on sunscreen this morning. Don't think it was necessary. I haven't been in the sun yet. But we'll see as the day goes on. Beautiful trail. All right, about 3 miles in. Beautiful hike, beautiful day. As expected, I got some various aches and pains. Right knee, right hip a little bit, mostly just the right knee though. Left big toe, that one always hurts. The shoulder's doing well. It's sore here in certain motions, but for the most part, I don't feel anything. But I was just going to speak briefly on the how your mindset can change and why it's so important in accomplishing our tasks, especially the difficult ones we set for ourselves as challenges. I was home for a month, maybe 4.5 weeks to close to 5 weeks. That's a long time to be off the trail, and it's easy for your mind to start, putting you back in that universe and seeing yourself there. So when I found out about the shoulder, disappointing, and it just, even made me more vulnerable to a negative mindset because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to go back for a long period of time. So I'm fortunate. I was able to grab at least 7 or 8, who knows, maybe 9 days I have right now. But before I left yesterday, there's heavy weather coming in with rain and thunderstorms. But the best I can tell, and thank you, my son David, for sending me a weather report that he gets access to. That is, I don't know, but it's maybe a higher level than what I can normally get. Anyway, looks like this can be great weather for today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, probably. Tuesday is going to be, the high risk day with an 80% chance of rain and thunderstorms. I don't like thunderstorms. So I was almost used that as an excuse to, well, maybe I should just wait on Tuesday, then come out in the trail and just, have 4 or 5 days, because that'd be better than nothing. And it's, fortunately, I recognized what was going on in my mind, in my subconscious mind, and, the little voice that I say can control us if we let it, as I used to. And I realized, no, I need to go out today because it's going to give me my best chance to get several days. If the weather's truly bad on Tuesday, then I'll get in a shelter and just sit in there all day, or I'll get in a hotel room. But you know, I can get 3 or 4 great days before that, and 2 or 3 days, great days after that, with more rain coming. But it's just rain, and then, you know, before you know it, I'm back home and I can't get on the trail for a few months. So anyway, just wanted to point out that it's easy to slide into that, listening to that subconscious voice and letting that negative mindset interfere with your desired plans. 5 miles in, I just can't get over how much the trail has changed. It's just, it's awesome. I'll tell you what, this would be a pain in the ass during or after rain. I've been over, it's not right now, but a ton of rocks. I mean, long distances of just, you know, 2 fist-size, skull-sized rocks. So uneven surfaces to walk on. So that's been interesting. It would be slippery in the rain, and this would just continue to get you wet, hanging out over the trail like that. But nevertheless, a neat trail. Literally have been under the canopy for 5.5 miles. Then boom, just took a step and you have this view. Very pretty. You can tell just looking at the mountains out there, they're not as rugged as what I've been through. But I'm sure they'll be challenge enough. I'm looking forward to something maybe slightly on the easier side. Well, the trail just popped out of the trees about mile 9, and that sound I could hear for the last 100 yards has come from these bad boys. Man, just feel that energy surging through there. Not sure I'd want to live right underneath them, but take those away. It's a very pretty setting. Interesting place. There's a museum here, I guess, of old structures. That was a schoolhouse in 1892 with the outhouse behind it. There's, I guess, the caretaker. Here's the trail. It took me a minute to find it. There was no tree to put a white blaze on. So anyway, just trekking through. It looks like somebody actually came in and maybe he did it and mowed it down a little bit wider. Keep those ticks down. Anyway, it's a nice little path out in the open. At least get some sunlight for a short while. Then back to the tree cover. Up there somewhere I'll be going. Well, at least there's a lot of varying sights here in Virginia. I like that. Got a pasture I'm getting ready to go through. Some nice houses. And railroad. Finally getting some open air, open sunlight. A couple just passed me with their dog. Had lunch with them at the Pasture shelter. And the road noise you hear is Interstate 81. So I'm probably about a mile or less from 81. And I'm coming up on a well-known stop that I didn't know about till this afternoon called The Barn. Hikers like because they got filling food, cold drinks, and it's right on the trail or very close to the trail, one or the other. I'll see. I'm running there and maybe get a cold Coke, and maybe they have Subway type sandwiches. I can have one made to take to my campsite tonight. All right, you can see a gas station under the overpass on the other side. That's where I just turned the corner and stopped and had a Snickers bar and a drink. And now I'm heading back into the woods. It's been a relatively easy day in terms of terrain, which is nice. Hopefully I can make good time if it stays like this. But another, I think, 2.5 miles or so for today. All right, not much further than past the last video, about 12.6 miles. Just had one observation from yesterday that applies to mindset. When I was home for a long time, for a month, a little bit over a month, and that's easy to get out of the swing of the trail if you will. I'm on a little boardwalk. I don't know if you can see it behind me. Yeah. Anyway, you know, you get comfortable. You have bathrooms, you have beds, showers, food, family, you know, everything you want, and very comfortable. And when it was time to come back, you know, especially after I heard of the having to have surgery, so that's, today's the 18th, so that's 12 days from now. There's weather coming in next week, and rain starting maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, then Tuesday's supposed to be a bad day. And it was easy with the, you know, the little voice in my mind was going, all right, well, you know, why don't we wait until after Tuesday, see what the weather looks like, and then maybe go out for a few days hike. And fortunately, I didn't listen to that, and with a little help from Gail, who said, you need to head out to the trail. And she was right. But, you know, mindset's something that I think I always have to work on. And it's very easy to work on the controlling that subconscious voice, or even that conscious voice sometimes. And saying things like, well, it's gonna be too wet, it's too far, you're out of shape, surgery's almost here. Would have been easy to listen to. So glad I didn't. Just an awesome trail today. And this is indicative right here. You can see the little path right along the edge of this pasture. Just walking through some farmer's pasture. So, pretty day. A lot of the trail's been like this, just nice and smooth. Not a lot of up and down. I mean, this is enough. Been over 2,200 feet today, but that was more towards the beginning than what I've had recently. Anyway, pretty walk. Well, there is a sign you'd love to see. A quarter of the way, Georgia to Maine. All right, assuming the other one there says 3/4, Maine to Georgia. Yep. Well, I won't be finishing that way now. That's still kind of cool, quarter of the way. And actually within 1 or 2 tenths of a mile of where I planned some campsites. So, should be there in a moment. Okay, I knew the first day back in the trail wouldn't come without its challenges. Fortunately, like I said, it's been a relatively easy trail, even though the elevation gain's been decent, but I've had a lot of level trail with, just like it is right now, just kind of packed dirt, grass, and either level or gently rolling. So that's been good. And it's allowed me to cover more territory, and that's good because when I stopped to at mile 14.7 camp, there was supposed to be a water source. It just said unmarked trail down steep hill. And I could not find any trail. I couldn't hear any water, but I couldn't find the trail, so I didn't want to stay there. But the next campsite with water is 4 miles, 4.2, and I'm about halfway there. So I got about 3/4 of a liter. So I got plenty of water to get me there and get me through the night. And I got cold food I can eat. I don't need to heat anything up. And then there's a stream 1.2 miles past where I'm going to camp. But I don't want to go that far tonight, because I think this will put me right at about 20 miles, which will be my top day. In fact, I hope it is 20, not 19.9. I want to say I did a 20-mile day as long as I've done it. Anyway, looking for water. I'm tired, ready to stop. I think it's about 4:45 or 5 in the afternoon. So I should be there by 6 or so. All right, it's 6 o'clock. I'm happy to report 4 miles later, there was a campsite that had water. Yes, there are my full water bottles right there. Plus I got enough to cook with, which I wasn't going to do. Now I can. So all good news, ended well. Had a little bit of a fall on the trail, nothing major. Just a couple scrapes on my arm. But beyond that, looking forward to the next day. A good 18 and a half or so mile day today.